Welcome. We'll start this morning in a comfortable seated position. So find a comfortable seat. And remember, this is a beginner class, so I will kind of break down some things and talk and explain a little bit more about the postures that we'll do together. So if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask at any time. But we'll start seated. Let this position be a comfortable position for you. You can allow your eyes to close or your gaze to soften. Finding some nice long length here in your spine. Sitting up tall, maybe allowing your hands to rest on your knees, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Begin by taking a deep inhale through our nose, filling the lungs with air, and a long exhale through the mouth. Again, deep inhale in, filling the lungs with air. And a long exhale through your mouth. Again, deep inhale in. And a nice long exhale out. And then allowing your breath, and if you've just joined, allow your seat to be tall, letting your gaze be focused inward, and then allowing a natural rhythm of breath to arise. So you're breathing in fully through your nose and exhaling through your nose now. Maybe allowing your exhalation to be slightly
down, honey.
longer than your inhale. But just focusing here on your breath. And remembering that yoga gives us the opportunity to move inward. To let our attention rest on the flow of our breath as we observe our body and the various shapes that we create. From our tabletop position, you will then allow your torso to move forward as you move into hands and knees. Finding your hands and knees, hands underneath your shoulders, knees directly underneath your hips, feet in line with your knees, feet and knees with distance apart. And we'll begin to move through cat and cow pose. We'll begin with cow. So keeping the abdominals hugged in toward the spine, really pressing through the hands, lifting up through the shoulders. We'll exhale, we'll round our spine so we're lifting up through the rib cage, lowering our head down. And inhaling, releasing the chest forward, keeping the belly engaged. Gaze can come up to maybe where the ceiling meets the wall. And then as we exhale, pressing through our hands, rounding our spine, moving into cat pose. And then inhaling, coming forward, gaze comes forward, chest moves forward for cow. And just continue to move dynamically through cat and cow. Really focus on exaggerating the movement of the rib cage. Focus on keeping the small of the low back, for the most part, moving along with your rib cage. So making sure we're not dumping into the back body. Beginning to just continue the breath, breathing in through your nose, breathing out through your nose. Remembering each time we inhale, the body opens, and as we exhale, we're contracting or closing or bringing in. And finding here a neutral position now in the spine. Now we'll allow here our two big toes to come together, our knees to move wider than our hips here. And as we exhale, we'll send the hips down and back towards the heels. Arms will begin to reach further towards the top of the mat as the head moves down towards the mat, moving into a wide-legged child's pose. We're focusing on pressing the rib cage away from the hips as the glutes draw down and back towards the heels. So we're finding a long spine, feeling, witnessing our breath in our side and back body. With each inhale, lengthening. With each exhale, softening. Allowing the hips to melt, any tension that you may be feeling in your face or in your body, just to release. And really tuning in to the breath in the shape that you are creating. Inhale, rising back up to our nice tall tabletop position. Hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. If you look between your legs, you shouldn't see your feet here. Remember, if at any time your knees are bothering you, you can always slide a blanket underneath your knees. We'll begin to stretch out our hamstrings. So inhale, extend your right leg back long behind you. Let your toes be onto your mat. So you're pressing through your hands, lifting your ribs away from your hips, so finding length through the top of the head, but gaze is down in between your hands. Exhale here, press back through your heel, so you're stretching along the back of the leg as you press through your heel, finding length and space in your hamstring and calf. Fully breathing in through your nose, out through your nose. Exhale, allowing your knee to move back to center here. Inhale, opposite leg is stretching out long. Again, hugging everything in, pressing down and back through your heel. Finding nice long length here in your hamstring. And allowing your knee to move back to center. Now, untucking your toes, so toes aren't tucked, you'll walk your hands back to sit back onto your heels. Toes are not tucked.
I heard it, baby.
Tops of the feet are flat on the mat. Allow your shoulders to draw back, shoulders over hips, core is slightly engaged. When I say core, this is the space below your belly button and the space above the pubic bone. Shoulders are coming back. You'll allow your hands to come into a prayer position, but you'll interlace your fingers together. And then we'll make figure eights with the wrist. So we'll rotate our wrist in one direction here. And then see if you can change the direction here of your wrist or of the movement. Good. Then allowing your hands to release onto your thighs. Shoulders are still back, nice long length in your spine. You have a strong posture. Inhale, stretch your arms out into a T here. So arms are gonna come out wide, core is engaged. We'll move into eagle arms by allowing your right arm to come right in front of you. Flip your arm up so your palm and the eye of your elbow is facing the sky or the ceiling. Now allowing your left arm to cross over your right arm. So the eye of the left elbow and the palm is facing up towards the ceiling. And then bend your elbows and interlace your arms here for eagle arms. You can also let the back of the hands and the back of the arms rest together You can also just interlace the thumbs here if you wish. Breathing, allow your elbows to lift up and your hands to move slightly towards the top of your mat. Feeling the space between your shoulder blades here. Feeling that space expand with each inhale and soften with each exhale. Inhale, allowing your arms to open here. And then exhaling, letting your arms come down to your lap. And we'll gently find some small movement here on the shoulders. Rotating the shoulders in one direction. Then rotating the shoulders in the opposite direction. Cultivating stillness here. Inhale, stretching your arms back out into a T. Chest comes out. And then allow here your left arm to come out in front of you, palm up, eye the elbow up, right arm comes right in front of your left, elbows can stack, bending your elbows, moving into eagle arms with the right arm on top. Elbows lifted, hands reaching towards the top of the mat slightly, or engage, feeling your breathing body, the space between your shoulder blades with each breath. Staying connected, staying inward. Inhaling, allowing your arms to gently stretch back and out into a T. Exhaling, arms lower. And then allowing some gentle movement to occur in the shoulders. Rotating the shoulders in one direction. And then rotating the shoulders in the opposite direction.
She's doing this right now.
Finding some stillness here. Transition back into tabletop, back into hands and knees. Good. Now press your hands into your mat. Lift up through the back of the heart slightly. Head, neck, and spine is in a line. Shoulders are drawing away from the ears as you lengthen the crown towards the top of your mat. Core is engaged, ribs away from hips slightly. Tucking the toes. Press your hands into your mat. Lift your knees up away from the mat. Let your knees hover the mat. Breathe. Tabletop, knees hovering. Exhale, lower knees come down. Deep inhale in. Long exhale out. Again, hands into the mat. Lift your knees up. Maybe your knees come a little bit higher this time. Breathe. Core is engaged, lifting up through the back of the heart. Everything active. Exhale, lower knees come down. Good. Last time. This time, tuck your toes, hip, knees, rise. Then allow your hands to press and push forward as you begin to send your hips back, legs lengthen, moving into downward facing dog. Feet step with distance apart. Maybe there's a slight bend in the knees, weight is in the legs, head is released, hands are firmly planted and pressing into the mat.
Can you read
breath.
the book? Not right now, baby.
Inhale, coming forward, back to tabletop, to hands and knees. Now here, allow your right fingertips to reach out towards the top of the mat. So your fingertips are on the mat. The whole point of having your fingertips onto the mat helps you find a little bit more length in the right side of your body. So hugging everything and pressing down for your left hand. Extend your left leg back behind you. Let your toes be on the mat and kind of walk your toes back. Hugging everything in, pressing up through that right, pressing down through the right knee, lifting up through the right and the left hip. Lift up your right arm. Let your right palm face the left. Let your arm be by your ear. Inhale, lift up your left heel. So your left heel is in line with your hip. Your left toenails are facing your shin. You're breathing. Welcome to Sunbird. Exhale, lower hand comes down to center to tabletop. Knee comes back to tabletop. Same thing here, opposite side. Inhale. Left arm comes out long in front of you to help you find your stability. Right leg comes out long to find your stability. Hug everything in. Really find nice length in the leg and in the arm, in the right hip and the side body. Inhale, lift your arm, lift your leg, breathe. Extending through your right heel as you're kicking into the wall behind you. Core is engaged. You're breathing.
Many.
Exhale, hand comes down, knee comes down, hips move back for a wide-legged child's pose. Again, 2 big toes come together, knees separate, hips move down and back, arms stretch out long. Couple breaths here.
Making bow machine. Making bow machine. Making.
Deep inhale in, longer exhale out.
Making bow machine. Making bow machine. Making.
Inhale, come forward, back to tabletop, back to hands and knees. Tuck your toes, hands into the mat, send your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Remember, pressing your hands into your mat, let your ears move away from your shoulders. Look between your hands, bend your knees, core is engaged as you walk. Walk your feet to meet your hands. So you'll find a forward bend at the top of your mat. Here, allow your hands to be making connection with something. So if you need to bend your knees to help you make that connection, do so. Head releases, release any tension that you're carrying here in the cervical spine. Really press down through your feet so you're feeling a nice activation in the back of the legs. Maybe shift an even amount of weight into the toes and into the heels.
It's Christmas.
Tucking your chin, bending your knees even more generously now. Slowly ragdoll up to standing, coming up vertebra by vertebra. As you begin to rise up, head will come up last. Shoulders will come back, palms will come forward. Let's allow the feet to be either hip socket apart, or if you'd like to challenge your balance, with the 2 big toes come together, put a nice sliver in the heel. Keep a nice small micro bend in the knees, so we're honoring the natural curvature of the spine. So weight will come into the heels. All leg muscles are active. And lift up through the rib cage so your ribs are away from your hips. Shoulders are nice and drawn back. Palms come forward. Shoulders down, but a nice length in your spine. Breathe. Arm muscles hug towards the bones. Inhale, allowing your arms to rise up. Nice chest lift, arms into a high knee. Exhale, arms lower, chest softens. Inhale, arms lift up, high V. Maybe your arms come a little bit, a tad bit higher this time. Exhale, arms down. Remember to press through your feet as you lift your arms. Inhale, lift your arms up again. Maybe now your hands reach straight up towards the ceiling. Breathe.
It's dancing.
Exhale, arms come down.
Halloween.
We'll add 7 spinal movements here. Inhale.
It's Halloween.
Lift your right arm up.
It's Halloween.
Lift your right arm up, just your right arm. Let your left palm
Halloween.
face your left thigh. Take a gentle side bend towards your left. Now, if you will, here, allow your right hip to kind of move back. Breathe.
Okay, Mickey.
Inhale up to center. Exhale, right arm lowers. Inhale, left arm reaches up. Nice long length in the left side of your body. Keep your right rib cage away from your right hip. Exhale, side bend over. So make sure you're not collapsing into your side body.
What? There.
Notice your breath and the shape that you're creating. Yoga is about attention.
We're having a
Inhale,
party.
hand moves
We're
up to
having
center.
a
Exhale,
party.
arm moves
We're
down.
having a party.
Deep inhale in.
We're having
Long
a
exhale out.
party.
Inhale, both arms lift up overhead. Ribs away from hips. Exhale here. Keep your hips to center. Twist towards your right. Hips will kind of move to center, so you can allow your right hip
This party is
to move
almost done.
towards the top of your
This
mat.
party is almost
Three.
done. This party is almost
Inhale,
done.
lift both arms up overhead. Torso moves back to center.
This
Exhale,
party
twist
is
towards the
almost done.
opposite side here.
This
Now
party
allowing
is
your
almost done.
left hip to kind of move towards the top of your mat. Gaze can come back behind you.
Yay! It's
Inhale,
done.
lift both arms up overhead. Reach
Done.
up
Done.
tall.
Done.
Exhale, arms come down to mountain pose. Inhale, lift both arms up overhead, arms to a high V this time. Exhale, open up to cactus arms, so elbows in line with shoulders, palms facing forward. Exhale, micro back bend, lean back.
It's okay to get
Inhale, arms reach up overhead, bending at the knees, fold forward. Moving into our last final action here. Lower your head down, feeling free to nod the head yes and no. Pressing through your feet, inhale, rise up, reach up, lifting both arms. Exhale to mountain pose. Moving into the spinal actions again, going a little bit faster this time. Inhale, both arms reach up overhead. Exhale, right arm down towards the right side, side bend towards the right. Inhale, right arm back to center. So right arm will reach back up. Exhale, left arm moves down by left side, side bend towards the left. Inhale, both arms reach up overhead. Exhale, twist to the right. Let your gaze come back behind you. See if you can let your right hip come more towards the top of the mat. Inhale, arms lift up. Exhale, twist towards the opposite side. See if you can let your left hip move forward. Inhale, lift arms up. Exhale, open up to cactus arms. Lean back. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. This time we'll move into halfway lift. Hands will come to your shins. You'll find a nice length in your spine. Weight is evenly distributed in your toes and into your heels. Shoulders back, gaze down at the top of your mat. Head, neck, and spine in a line. Flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Press through your feet. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Both arms lift. Exhale, arms down by your side for mountain pose. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Press through your feet. Exhale, right arm down by right side, side bend towards the right. Moving into lateral flexion. Inhale, right arm reaches up overhead. Exhale, left arm moves down by left side. Exhale, side bend towards the left. Lateral flexion. Inhale, left arm reaches up. Ribs away from hips, twist towards your right. Right hip moves to center. Moving into twist.
I made it
Inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, moving into spinal twist on the opposite side. Left hip moves forward, gaze comes back. Inhale, both arms reach up. Exhale to cactus arms, micro back bend, lean back. Inhale, arms reach up overhead, torso to center. Exhale, forward bend, fold. Inhale to halfway lift, hands come to shins, moving into axial extension. Exhale, fold again. Press through your feet. Inhale, rise up, reach up, arms lift up tall overhead. Exhale down to mountain pose. Take your hands to your breathing body, one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Check in for a moment. Maybe take a cleansing breath here, or just reconnect with your breath. Exhale, arms come down by your side here. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Good, bend your knees, plant your hands down. We'll step our right foot back behind us. Lower your back knee down. Now step your left foot back behind you. Lower your left knee down. Here we're in a knees down plank. So hands under your shoulders, knees are together or hip width distance, but knees are behind the hips. So you're not in tabletop. Toes are untucked, so you're pressing through the tops of the feet, pressing through your hands. Lift up through the back. Lift up through the back of your heart, through the back of your Anahata chakra. Moving into Chaturanga, you'd like to, you can watch first, but elbows, as you exhale, you'll lower. Elbows will come down towards your rib cage. So elbows will move in, elbows will come forward, lowering all the way onto your belly with control. Hands frame your chest. Feet together in the back like a snake's tail. Inhale, chest comes up for baby cobra. Breathe, really focusing on cracking a walnut between the shoulder blades as the chest lifts. Exhale, lower. Pressing through your hands, tucking your toes, hips come up and back, knees lift for downward facing dog. If you need to, keep your hands planted, but walk your feet up closer. Deep inhale in, long exhale out. Setting your gaze between your hands, walk your feet forward to forward fold. Press through your feet. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Exhale, arms come down by your side. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Bending your knees slightly, fold forward. Hands plant. Bending your knees, step your right leg back long behind you. Then step your left leg back long behind you. If high plank is in your practice, you can work in high plank, breathe, or releasing to knees down plank, which is a lot more gentle. Elbows towards your rib cage. Remember to press through the back of your heart. Lower. Letting your shoulders come down as your chest comes down. Inhale, feet together like a snake's tail. Press the tops of your feet, your shins, lifting the shins, pressing the thighs and the hips down. Shoulders draw back. Inhale, lead with the heart for cobra. Exhale, lower. Pressing through your hands, tuck your toes, hips move up and back for downward facing dog. Deep inhale in, long exhale out. Looking forward between your hands, walk your feet forward, come to forward bend. Inhale, root to rise, lift your arms up. Exhale, arms come down. Deep inhale in. Long exhale out. Remember to keep your mountain pose strong. Now is not the time to let go. Stay inward. Stay focused on the shape of your mountain pose. Inhale, arms lift, ribs away from the hips. Root through your feet, through the toes, through your heels. Exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees and plant your hands. Shift weight to your left foot. Inhale, step your right leg back long behind you. So hands are framing your front foot. Front knee is tracking right over your front ankle. You're pressing through your front foot, so you're lifting the arches of your front foot. Your back thigh is lifted back, hips are up. Here, let your chest come forward and come up onto your fingertips. So we're not rounding in the spine, we're creating axial extension in the spine, long spine here. Now, lower your back knee down. Now, your back knee can move behind your hip if you'd like to stretch out top of the right thigh more. Or if you just like to work with neutrality, you can allow your right knee to just be right underneath your right hip. Still keeping this nice long length in your spine. Inhale, press through your front foot. Lift the arches of your front foot. Lift both arms up. So you're reaching up for Anjaneyasana. Breathing. Ribs away from hips. Feel the connection of the earth beneath you. Really focus on reaching up to the heavens with your fingers. Keeping the face soft, keeping the toes soft.
Listen, I'm telling on me.
Exhale, fold over your front foot. you're up onto your fingertips. So we have axial extension, long spine. Tuck your back toe, lift up off your back knee. Back leg elongates. Inhale, we'll step back here to three-legged dog. So shifting weight to your front foot, kick your front foot back up for three-legged dog. So your left leg is lifted up into the air. Left foot is flexed, hands are pressing into your mat. Breathe. Exhale, lower left foot comes back to your mat. Feet hip-width distance apart. Look forward between your hands. Walk your feet to meet your hands for forward bend. Inhale, root to rise, press to the earth. Lift your arms up towards the heavens. Reach up, long spine. Exhale to mountain pose. Keep this nice long length in your spine. That's the whole point, to lift the arms so you can keep a nice length in your spine. All the spine wants to do is elongate. It's tired of slouching all day. Inhale, lift your arms up overhead, reach up. Exhale, fold, hinging from your hips. Inhale, shift weight here to your right foot. Step your left leg back long behind you. Hands frame your front foot, knee is tracking over your ankle. Hug everything up and in. Breathe. Squeeze towards the midline of your body with your legs. Up onto your fingertips, nice long length in your spine. Lift the arches of your front foot. Pressing down through the pads of the feet and the heel to lift the arch. Exhale, back knee lowers. Option to let your back knee move behind your hip to stretch out the top of the left thigh, or keep the left knee directly underneath your hip. When you're ready, inhale, lift your arms up. Ribs away from hips, breathing. Front knee is still tracking right over your ankle. Make sure you can still see your toes at all times. Breathe. Exhale, fold over your front foot. Hands frame your front foot. Nice length in the spine. Chest lifted towards the top of the mat. Tuck your back toe, lift up off your back knee, breathe. Press down through your front foot, root down through your hands now. Shift weight to your front foot, kick your front leg back to three-legged dog as the weight moves into your back leg. Breathe. Right foot is flexed, extending through the heel, right toenails towards the shin. Exhale, lower your foot down. Feet hip width distance. Deep inhale in. Long exhale out. Look forward between your hands. Walk your feet to meet your hands. Press through your feet. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Exhale, arms move down to mountain pose. Deep inhale in. Long exhale out. Deep inhale in. Long exhale out. Connect back with your breath. Stay inward. Keep breathing. Inhale, arms reach up tall overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll step our right leg back long behind us again for that runner's lunge position. Hands framing your front foot. Back knee is lifted, chest is forward, nice length in your spine. Now exhale, pivot on your back foot so your back foot becomes parallel to the back of your mat. Press through your front foot, lift the arches of your front foot, lift your arms up and out into a T. Moving into warrior two here. Front toes are facing the top of your mat, back foot is parallel to the back of your mat. Front knee is bent and right over the ankle or an inch behind it. So as we work and talk about warrior two, we are holding for a while. It is Hatha. See if you can allow these energetics to happen in your body as well. Adjust always as needed. So with the alignment, front toes are facing forward. You want your front heel to be in line with the center of your back foot. So see if you can let that alignment to occur. Now, pressing through your feet, lift the arches of your feet. As you lift the arches of your feet, you'll feel your ankle activate and then activate the calf. Have the calf muscle and the thigh muscle in. The front knee wants to move towards the midline of the body. The front knee wants to move in towards the big toe. Move the front knee away from the big toe over towards the front pinky toe. Keep the toes relaxed. Now allow your hips to be in a diagonal position. Shoulders tracking right over your hips. Arms out. Spread your fingers wide. Let your arms be very strong. Let the space below the belly button and the space above the pubic bone be drawn in towards your spine.
It's the boat.
Gaze can be out next to you or at your front middle finger. Breathe. Stay with your breath. Keep everything hugged in. Body is strong. Breath is moving throughout the body.
Mama, I want to get dry. And then bring my costume.
Allow your hands to transition to your hips. Now turn your front foot, your left toes, to face the side of your mat. Option 2, have a slight pigeon toe of the feet. If you know your hamstrings are kind of tight, you can turn your toes out some. But for the most part, goal is to one day bring the toes in. Whichever variation you choose with the feet. Allow your shoulders to draw back. Hands will move to your hips. Abdominals engaged. Chest slightly lifted. Inhale. Exhale. Press through your feet. Keep pressing through your feet. Hinge forward through your hips. Knees can bend as needed and hands can come to your knees if your feet are turned out. Or you can allow your hands to lower to the mat. A lot of people just completely collapse here. Press through your feet. Shift weight forward into the toes without lifting the heels. And you'll notice your hamstrings turn on. Lower the head. Breathe.
Mama, is this how you?
Good. Allow one hand to move to your hip at a time. Bend both knees.
This how you make
Inhale,
my
rise
shirt
up. Press through your
go
feet.
This how you make my shirt
Heel, toe, step, or hop your feet together.
Yeah.
Come back to the top of your mat. Finding your mountain pose. Feet hip socket distance apart, or feet toes in, heels slivered. Let your pose be strong. If you've been practicing asana for a while, yoga posture for a while, I'd like you to work on cleaning up your mountain pose. Always focus on having a strong mountain pose. Clean up your warrior ones. Clean up your warrior twos. Clean your poses up. Let your pose be strong. Let your gaze be focused. Let your attention rest on the flow of your breath and the shapes that you're creating. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, fold forward, hinge from your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Nice long flat back. Core is engaged. Press through the feet. Hamstrings are activated. Feel that. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Bend your knees. Root through your hands. Step back to plank or to knees down plank. Exhale, elbows to rib cage. Chaturanga down all the way onto your belly. Clean up your cobras. Elbows towards rib cage.
Bear.
Press the tops of your feet into your mat.
Yeah.
Glutes active, legs active. Crackle one up between the shoulder blades. Lift the chest, breathe.
No, it's the best ever.
Add neck and spine in a line.
It's both.
Don't
It
throw
really
your
is.
cervical spine out of alignment. Exhale, fold.
Is the wet is cool?
Yeah.
Tuck your toes. Hips press up and back for downward dog.
I really want
Feet
to
hip width distance apart.
something.
Gaze comes forward between your hands. Walk or hop. Your
Something.
feet forward to forward fold. Press through your feet. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Exhale, strong mountain pose.
Something.
Deep inhale in.
Mm,
Long exhale out.
I need to do a couple poses, maybe. Thank you.
Okay.
Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold. Shift weight here to your right foot. Step your left leg back long behind you. You're back into that runner's lunge. You're up on the back left toes. Back heel is lifted. Now pivot on your back foot so your back foot becomes parallel.
You need to wipe up
Back
the
of
one.
your mat. Front toes facing forward. Lift the arches of the feet. Inhale. Arms come up to warrior two. Reaching towards the top and towards the back of your mat. Check in with your heels again. Front toes facing forward. Front heel is in line with the middle of your back foot. Arches are lifted. Pressing through your feet. Keep your toes relaxed. Front knee is tracking over your ankle or an inch behind your ankle. Front knee over towards the front pinky toe. Activating the calves, the thighs, the glutes slightly. Core is hugged in. Space below the belly button. Space above the pubic bone is engaged. Arms are reaching towards the top and towards the back of your mat. Gaze at your front middle finger or out next to you. Stay with your breath. Ribs away from hips. See if you can soften the space between your shoulder blades.
Can't reach it. Tail square. I can't reach. Tail square. Oh. Uh-oh.
Exhale, hands move to the hips. Front foot turns to face the side of the room. So right foot comes to face the side of the room or the side of your mat. Now we're going to work with a really fun variation of forward bend. I actually haven't taught it. I learned it. It's new to me. It's like a wide-legged downward facing dog out towards the side. So bear with me as I teach you, but allow your shoulders to draw back. Exhale, hinge forward. Allow your hands to come down to your mat. Or if this is too much for you, work with that same position. Toes out, hands to knees. Now, this is where it gets fun. I want you to walk your hands out really far in front of you. So hands come completely off the mat. So you're really reaching towards the top part of your mat as your hips come back. Breathe here. Press through your heels, let your chest lower. Stay with your breath here.
Mama, where are you?
You got you, Melissa. I heard you. So arms come out. Lower the chest. Doesn't this feel great? This is my new favorite thing. Remember, toes in. And now we'll add to this. Walk your hands now straight up underneath your shoulders. Breathe. So flat back here, like halfway lift, but hands are grounded. Now exhale, press through your feet. Remember, activate the backs of the calves and hamstrings. Lower your head. Elbows can bend. You can even walk your hands to be in line with the center of your feet. Fingertips facing the way that your toes are facing. Head lowers. You can even take your hands and reach them back behind you as you lower your head. Fingertips facing away from your face. Good. Bring one hand to your hip at a time. Bend your knees. Rise up. Heel, toe, your feet in. And step to the top of your mat. Finding your mountain pose. Shoulders can draw back. Palms come forward. Deep inhale in. Long exhale out. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, last vinyasa, moving back into your plank. Exhale, chaturanga, lower. Inhale, come back to that cobra. Let your pose be strong. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to hands and knees. Exhale, back to that wide-legged child's pose. Reconnect here with your breath. Inhale, walk your hands up towards your body. So we're coming back to Virasana. Shoulders back, shift weight over towards the left, lean, and extend your legs out long in front of you. So we're moving into the Vasana into staff pose here. So in staff pose, feet together, legs together. Flex your feet, heels come out, hands come right by your sits bones, fingertips facing the top of your mat. Nice long length in your spine, chin parallel to your lap. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold. Hinge from your hips, hands can lower. Focus on keeping a nice long length in your spine. So make sure that we're not rounding, that we're hinging forward. Breathe. We're hinging from the hips. Inhale, walk your hands up towards your body. Allow now the soles of your feet to come together. Let your knees open. Shoulders back. You can stay here or keeping a nice long length down through your hips. Feel your sits bones. You can stay here or hinge forward. Breathe. Try to keep the feet together here today. Inhale, rise up. Take your hands, gently lift your knees. Good. And make your way here onto your back. So make your way onto your back. Lie back. Your knees can be bent or your legs can be out long in front of you. Take a deep inhale in and exhale out. Excuse me. On your next exhale, one at a time, bring your knees here into your chest. Hug them in. You can find movement in the knees, maybe moving your knees forward and back or in a gentle circular motion. And then cultivating some stillness. Allowing your arms to be directly down by your side, palms facing down. So arms and hands on the mat, hands next to hips. Inhale, extend both of your legs straight into the air. We're gonna move into a legs up position. So allowing your heels to be up towards the ceiling, toenails to be pointing towards the shins. And allow here, if you will, a nice, just a small bend in the knees. So the legs do not have to be straight unless you'd like them to, but feel free to keep a small, gentle bend in the knees. Really focus on rooting down through your low back, feeling that connection of your back and the earth and the back and the mat. Breathe. Stay with your breath. And exhale here. Stretch your arms out into a T. Now bend your knees, bring your knees into your chest. Exhale, we'll take a gentle twist over to the right. So allowing the knees to move towards the right. Gaze can come towards your left, feeling this nice spinal twist. Stay connected with your breath. Inhale, moving your gaze back to center, knees come back to center. Exhale, twist to the opposite side. Gaze can come to the opposite direction of your knees. Notice your breath in your right side body. Inhale, bringing your gaze to center, knees to center. Exhale, place the soles of your feet down onto your mat. Arms can lower down by your side or out into a low V next to you. Take your right ankle, place it over your left knee. Right ankle on left knee. Exhale, lift with your left foot, drawing your knees into your chest. Take your hands, reach for the back of your left thigh for a figure 4 pose. Exhale, lower, release your hand from the back of your thigh, foot lowers, leg lowers. Opposite ankle comes onto your knee. Lifting up your right foot, hands reach for the back of your thigh. Breathe, stay inward. Stay with your breath. Exhale, lower sole of your right foot comes down onto your mat, left foot comes onto your mat. We'll set up for Shavasana. So Shavasana is what we do at the end of every yoga class. It allows us to rest. So your legs can stretch out to the corners of your mat. Arms can be down into a low V. And shoulders are resting, gaze is up. Eyes can be closed if You are one to add any props. You can add a blanket. You can change the lighting if you wish to change the lighting. But I'm going to sit up so I don't have a full Shavasana experience and don't get up before time. But find this nice long position on your back, letting your whole body just be heavy. Surrendering to the mat, surrendering to your breath. No need to control your breath. No need to edit or censor the experience that you're having today, but just to be. Just to be inward with your body in this shape of rest. Stay with your breath. Feeling the weight and the heaviness of your body resting. Remember, if you'd like to stay here longer, you can. Allowing your breath to deepen. Allowing movement to occur here in your fingers and toes. Maybe a rotation in the wrists or ankles. You can stretch out and begin to transition to one side, so beginning to lie on one side. Maybe using your inner bicep, your inner arm as a pillow. And beginning to cultivate a seated position. Take your time as you move. Finding a nice, comfortable seat. Allowing your hands then to move to your heart center, to Anjali Mudra, to prayer. Hands together, fingers spread moderately wide. Thumbs either in connection with your sternum or in line with your sternum. Inhale, stretching your arms up tall. Reach up, long spine. Arms reach up. Exhale, hands move back to heart center, to Anjali Mudra. And taking this moment just to send yourself some love and some light. And thank you for allowing me to guide you through your practice this morning. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you. I hope y'all have a wonderful
rest of your day.